and then stand. Here. Okay. Hi. Welcome to our event. We are obviously going to be talking about conferences today, but before we get started, I just want to mention a few things. We have a lot of activities coming up, a lot of events. The first is next Friday. We're doing a all College of Human Sciences happy hour at Della Viti Wine Bar on Main Street. It's being co-hosted by the Interdisciplinary Graduate Student Group, and Hospitality Management Graduate Student Association is involved, and so is the School of Ed Learning Community. So we are hopeful that lots of people will come and get a chance to meet different people besides the same 6 people that we always see. I just think that will be a really good opportunity to give us a chance to meet people we're supposed to collaborate with. I mean, people are always talking about, kinesiology and all these collaborative things that we can do. So I thought this would be a good chance to meet some people. And also to talk about how things go in other departments. You can never get tired of hearing how other departments do assistantships and that kind of thing. So I think that'll be really fun. That's next Friday. Then we are doing in October, there are 5 events scheduled, aren't there?
There's another one in September, the lunch.
Right. We are doing a lunch on September 30th. It's a Wednesday afternoon. We'll meet at the Tea Room. A lot of people don't have their evenings free, so we thought that would be a good opportunity for more people to get involved. Then in October, on the 29th, we are having someone from the graduate college, come talk to us about individual development plans, meaning what can you do, how do we set up our lives to get us what we want? That assumes we know what we want, so maybe think about that a little. But that should be, I'm actually very excited for that because I tend to be a fairly organized person, but am actually struggling a little bit in keeping myself on track this semester since everything is so self-directed. Once you stop taking classes, it's sort of on you. So I think having a plan would be very helpful. I'm looking forward to that. And then on the 30th, we will be having a potluck at Ling's house. Ling Zhang, she is hosting a potluck for the day before Halloween. So that we did that a few years ago, and it was a lot of fun. So we're really looking forward to that as well. I think that's it. Is that it? A lot of events. And there will obviously be more in November and December and so on and so on. But that's what we have going on right now. If you have not yet paid your dues, we'd like to encourage you to. $15, please. It helps pay for these delicious snacks. So we encourage that. And is that it? Is there anything else I need to mention? Wonderful. We did send out a survey that a lot of you filled out for us. Thank you very much. And gave some great suggestions for future events. We are always trying to find new ideas. So if anything occurs to you, let us know, and we'll see if we can't make it happen. Okay, so for today's event, we are going to be talking about the 3 conferences that the most people in our department attend. There are obviously other conferences that people attend as well, but these are the 3 biggest ones. The first one, of course, is ITAA, International Textiles and Apparel Association, which everyone, I assume that you heard about that the first day in 510 when Dr. Danforth said, and then there's ITAA. It is a major part of the Iowa State culture and is something that's very important to the field. We'll also be talking about the Popular Culture Association, which is less, obviously, discipline specific, but is a lot of fun. And then we'll be talking about the Costume Society of America, which I have actually never attended and am interested to hear how it differs from the other 2 conferences. And then afterwards, we'll take questions or talk about any other conferences that that you would like to mention, and that's how it'll go. So we will start with ITAA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where should I send? Here?
Sure.
Okay. Looking good.
Dave, can you see? Good.
Okay. So I have attended, I know all of you, I think, yeah, I'm Wujdan. And I have attended ITAA twice. I attended in 2010, it was in Hawaii, but I haven't presented because my paper was rejected because the finding wasn't finalized yet. So if you like planning to submit, if you don't have your finding all finalized, they won't accept it. So plan to finish it before you submit your paper. The next time it was 2012, 13, not 12. It was in New Orleans. It was so fun. And the submission. Okay, usually you have to write 2-page single space. Be careful how you pick your keywords because this is how they gonna characterize that within which session your presentation will fit. So keyword is really important. Ask your advisor about it if it's that a good keyword. And what you include in the abstract, usually like 2 lines to 3 line introduction to your topic, justification, purpose statement, research function and hypothesis, and your method and data collection and findings. So very much like other abstract, but they give you like more space, which is 2-page. There is usually in the website there is like a template you can download and then you fill it. So sometimes you can play with the margin a little bit. Sometimes to make it fit. So that's good. So just a trick if you want to do it. And you also always have a choice to pick if you want to have a presentation or poster. And there is a like other check you can have either. I checked either and they emailed me that they picked me to have a presentation. But it's good sometimes to check either because sometimes they fall. There is no space for you to do presentation or there is no space for poster. So if you feel comfortable presenting, so pick either. No, it's better than rejecting. And okay, how you hear about that, you hear by email after you submitting mine. I check my email to be exact. I heard back from them after 3 weeks exactly from submission. So it was quick. Yeah. So I know it's no longer than a month. It shouldn't be longer than a month or approximately that. They will tell you if there is any comment and if they want you to change anything, but usually they're just going to tell you, congratulations, you have been accepted, and then further detail will be emailed for you later. If you are accepted already, go ahead directly and book your ticket because the earlier you do it, the cheaper you will have the deal. And if you have scholarship, because I don't know how scholarship do work here. Sometimes they offer you like some help, like free ticket maybe, or no,
Not really.
no, not maybe like not even like $300 or something. Nothing, no hotel reservation. I don't know. My scholarship offered me free ticket, so I don't know how
I'll come up here
scholarship.
so they can save.
Yeah.
So the university, the department will pay for registration.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, I was chewing. And they'll do that automatically. So you should send in, hey, Denise, I was just accepted, like the day after. Like there's no reason to wait. Get it in. And that is really helpful. Sometimes like ITAA registration is like $400.
It is, yeah, it is.
Then there are other conferences where registration is like,
So you get $300. Good.
there are other conferences where registration is like $20 and a smile, so it's not as big a deal, but it's always very helpful. And then of course there's the PAG grant. Can you see? There's the PAG grant, which goes through the university, and that is $200. They especially like new people. They've revised their submission process, I think. So,
$180.
oh, they knocked it down. So it's $180 now instead of $200, and I'm like a priority 2 because I've already gotten one. So they are prioritizing people who have never gotten one. So that is money, and take it if they give it to you. The other kind of scholarship, not so much.
Okay.
Question.
Okay. Never mind.
Is the pay grant, can you apply every semester or do you
No.
have to wait a full year?
Full year.
Okay.
Yes, it is a full year. Yes, so they definitely won't give it to you. Oh, another thing with the PAD grant, they get really mad at you if they give you the money and you don't use it.
Oh.
You have to tell them you're not going to use it because they will consider that you used it and that you should not apply for it again. And they are really mad at you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Well done.
I thought I should jump in.
Yeah, no, you should, because I don't know about that. I just say like, check, maybe there's some kind of help. Oh, okay. What else? Yeah, the registration, if you get it free, that's good, but the earlier is the better because they're always cheaper, the early registration. And they usually also send an email, like when the conference came close about the dress code. When it was in Hawaii, they sent us an email, said it's so casual, so no need to be professional. But if you're presenting, just in your presenting day, like it's good to look professional. And they tell you like what you're supposed to wear and how people like wear. So that's nice. So you know what, you don't want to go and like look weird there. And the size, ITAA is huge. This is why it's expensive. And there's a lot of food and delicious food. So like it's always in the fancy hotel, and there's a lot of people. You will meet everyone, like from undergrad, from your master film, like you'll meet a lot of people. It's really nice. And the size of room is not really bigger than this room because they put they have a lot of session in the same time. Each session will be regard one like sub-theme or topic. So there's like social psychological aspect of dress. There is like fashion and sustainability. There is each session. Then they all going to be in the same time. Like you cannot plan to attend everything. So they have a really maybe even smaller than this room. The light never off, it's always on because there will be a leader or like professor who will be like a president for this session. And the session, let's say it has 5 presentation usually or 4. And they're gonna have paper that said 5, 4, 3, yeah. So it's 20 minutes, 5 minutes for question, exactly 20 minutes. So if you have 5 minutes left, they're gonna hold the paper for you. You have to rush it. So practice and make sure it's 20 or 19. There is 5 minutes for question. How many people attend your session? It depends on your topic. If people are excited, it's gonna be full. I have been in a room that people are standing because there is no chair to sit. If all chairs are taken, and there is some session that 3 or 4 people there. So you don't know how many people are excited in our topic. Be prepared to full room, or don't get disappointed if only 2 people there. But usually you will have some question. What else? Something that you need to check when they send the schedule. After you do the registration, they will email you the schedule, so you will know which day you're presenting or which day is your poster. And there is a lot of workshops. Sometimes they're extra money, but they're really worth attending. So if you're planning to do that, also register early because they usually have limited seat and they take really quickly, everything taken. I remember in Hawaii, they teach us how to do the flower Hawaiian culture thing. It was really fun. So I registered for that. It was only $10. There is some workshop that cost more, I don't think it will be more than 50. But check those. They're worth attending. They're really fun. And some of them about leadership or about sustainability. I have attended one about sustainability. It was also fun. They let you do some activity and how to teach sustainability. So if you're interested in those, register early before all seat taken. And if you're presenting, or let's start with the presentation. Have your presentation on your laptop, make sure it's charged, bring it with you, have it in flash drive, email it to yourself. And I have to put my laptop because the computer there wasn't working for some reason, so I had to have my laptop. Make sure you have those. If you have poster, plan where you're going to print it. If you want to print it here and have the poster holder with you on the airplane, or you want to print it there, make sure you're planning for that, or ask sometime the hotel offer that printer and they give you a holder. So plan this in advance so you don't panic in the last minute. What else? I think I cover everything there. Do you have any question? Oh, I didn't cover the hotel and the roommate. Reserve the hotel directly. In one of the conference I attend, they have to go like 2 blocks hotel, not the one that the conference have. So then I keep walking back and forth, and it's the whole day. So you will for sure need to go like change, go to the restroom, and it's not always comfortable to go to the public restroom. So it's really beautiful to have it in the same hotel. So that is really important to make the reservation for the hotel early. Yeah. Any question?
Oh, I don't have a question. I just wanted to add that you can buy the trifold poster thing from ITAA. You can order it and it'll be there. You can pick it up.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to carry stuff on the plane, you can buy
Because
the
I
poster.
haven't have a poster, so I know
Yeah.
there is something you can
Yeah.
plan with them. So yeah, thank
So
you
that's
for
what I
adding
did. It was
that.
pretty easy. You know, when you go check in, they just note that you're picking up the board and they'll give it to you then.
I've actually never been to the poster session. What is that like?
So it's gonna be big room, like twice as big as this, and everyone will have a poster. There is a time when they have it in their calendar, and so you know you have to be there from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. You're gonna be like, each person will have their poster and stand by it, and then people will walk by and ask you a question. And there is a lot of people walk by the poster, and they probably ask more questions than in the presentation, because there is no time limit like the presentation. So with a poster, you'll be asked more questions. I know one of my friends who had a poster, and she said that she had received a lot of questions. Yeah, so it's usually the poster 2 days, not 1 day. So there is, they make sure the people who haven't get a chance to go on the first day, they go on the second day. So I'm sure it's long time. It's not like it's 4 hours probably. You have to be there. But the poster will stay for the whole day. So you can even stop by when the person, the researcher, not by its poster.
About the designs, like the
Yeah.
design around the text.
The design, I have submit 3 design and I get rejected, so it's okay. I'm fine. They didn't say in a comment. They said they just the judgment was so hard because they get over 200 and it was really hard, so really competitive, and a lot of people, this is why they rejected. You have to pick with a design, you have to pick which category your design go with very carefully. You have to make sure you write the requirements. Sometimes they're required with material use, sometimes they require the inspiration source, sometimes they have really specific thing they will ask for. Make sure you write it really clear and follow it step by step, and then you will have also big room that fill with those design, and each design will have the paper you write about your design under it, printed, and there will be a time when you have to stand by your design. It's similar to the poster, and people will ask questions. And there is also design that get to go to the fashion show. Like,
Not anymore.
not anymore?
Not this year, but maybe the next year.
I heard not.
Not anymore? That was so fun. Why not?
I heard that this year they are, it's like a pilot test to see if it's better to not do the fashion show. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
it takes a lot of time and effort and energy. Yeah, we need to have a lot of models, and yeah, I have volunteered to help. It was a lot of like work, yeah, but it's really fun.
It's about the hotel. It's not convenient.
This year. Yeah, but I heard it. They were they were
We can
easing
just
us
wait
into
until
it.
next year and see.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's really fun. The design, you can see a lot of work there, and I really like the fashion show. Really like it. So I'm sad to hear that they're not gonna do it.
More questions to everybody, maybe. Like, how about careers fair,
Oh, good
meeting
question.
people, which one to go, what to meet?
Yeah, that is also going to be a full room. Then there will be one professor who present their university. They usually have like each university will have a table, or like industry, not just university. There's people from industry, and there is a lot of people like around the world, not just in the United States. You will meet people from Italy and French, and they have really cute accent. And each university or industry will have a table, and they will have paper, usually have like what position they have opening, and they will have also for grad student who planning to apply. I did go to that, and I picked Iowa. So usually they will have a paper, so you can pull a paper, read it before you go on to talk to someone. So really the best way to do it, walk by all the table, take paper, and go like stand there and read and see which one you're interested in, and then you go and talk to them. And they will be also the career fair, they will have the time in the schedule. So pretty much when you get the schedule in the email, the first thing to do, review it all, highlight what you want to attend and what's important to you, but don't miss the fun. Like go, they usually have emphasize the culture in that city that holding the conference in. So they will have outside activity. In New Orleans, I remember we take cooking class. So they took us to like cooking school, and it was fun. It's worth attending. You will go like to see the most famous thing this city is known about. So their culture, in Hawaii, we went to the beach, we did something, I don't remember what it is, but they will have those. So make sure you do those, not just the conference.
Now, do we take business cards or
Yes.
CVs?
Yeah.
Dr. Kapo was at CVs, take CVs.
If you planning to apply for,
Take them both. Yeah, but definitely business cards.
and if you planning to
Any
have a
conference,
position,
take
you
business
should,
cards.
yeah. You should probably take CV too if you want to have applied, like you want to see the university have the opening position. You should have your CV probably, or you can plan to email it to them later. You don't have to have it print out.
Yeah, I think I gotta get this.
Okay.
Any other questions about ITAA?
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now
It's a real
let's
big-
move on to pop culture, because it has a due date that's coming up. So I thought that made sense. How's that work? Good for everybody?
I can move to so I can see better.
So it'll be March 25th, 25th in Seattle at the Sheridan. Have all you been to Seattle? You have, Amy, I know that.
Yep.
It's a great town.
It's
really,
raining.
really great. And PCA is a lot different than ITAA. It's really a lot less structured, a lot less stringent, and it's a lot of fun. So it was originally created by literature professors, and it actually was two organizations at one point. It was Pop Culture Association and I believe American Studies Association originally, and then they merged. We're lucky because we're pretty familiar with the association through Joe Hancock, who's a professor at Drexel, and Alphonse McClendon, who's also professor at Drexel. And Joe is actually in charge of all the operations for the conference, so he'll quite frequently offer to pay for people's hotel rooms in exchange for working the conference. Sarah, you did that, right? Stuffing bags and stuff like that.
I did.
So you may want to look out for emails about that from PCA, because that's a really good bonus. Just in terms of key dates, October 1st is the deadline for paper proposals, and November 15th is the due date for early bird registration. And you don't want to register past December 15th, because then you have to pay a really hefty sum in terms of registration fees. The rates for the conference are $160 a night for the single room, same for the double. And you can reserve your hotel room through the PCA-ACA website. In terms of submissions, there isn't that stringent submission requirement that ITAA has. So you won't have the requirement of having your study done, interlacing theory into the study. It can be an ongoing project that you're working on at the moment. It can be something that might not traditionally be shown at ITAA. You can use the conference as a backup to ITAA. So if something doesn't get accepted for April deadline for ITAA, it's always good to consider submitting it to PCA as well and getting feedback on it, refining it a little bit more to resubmit. Maybe for PCA, I believe ITAA, you can't be within the same year though, so you want to keep that in mind. They have a really good interface for submitting proposals. It's a 150 to 250 word abstract that you submit online. Basically, you'll sign it. You don't have to be a member to submit a proposal. So you can submit the proposal, see if you get approved, which most likely you will, because the fashion, style, and consumption area, which we would take part in, is pretty new. Joe actually founded the area, I think, with Alfonso. And usually get word back probably within a week, maximum 2 weeks. It's a pretty quick turnaround time. Has anybody who submitted to PCA had a longer wait than that?
A little.
I did, yeah.
I
I had a panel, we submitted as a panel, and 2 of them heard right away. And then I had to wait like another 3 weeks.
really, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, guys.
2 weeks sounds short. I feel like it took me a little longer than that. I would also like to point out that for ITAA, the 2 times I've submitted, it took 2 months for me to hear back.
Oh,
So,
I think it's depending the reviewer from.
maybe,
Yeah,
or the subject area.
or the subject area.
But I just thought I'd throw that out there.
So basically, again, you don't need to be a member at the moment. You'll go online. If you aren't in their system already, create a profile for yourself. You'll submit the title of your abstract, the body of your abstract, 150 to 250 words. You'll select the area again, which is fashion, style, and consumption. And just note that you can't have multiple submissions in the same conference. It has to be one submission. Well, also one thing that they recommend is that you don't cut and paste, that you type the submission in, because sometimes the formatting goes off on your typing.
Can I,
You'll get an email
Dave, can I break in for a
usually
second?
So,
Dave, can I break in for a second? Oh,
yeah.
excuse me. I wanted to say that, so no, you can't submit more than one thing to pop culture. You can submit more than one thing to ITAA. But pop culture has rolling acceptances. So if you submit to pop culture early and get rejected, which I actually don't know anybody who has, but if you do, then you can resubmit to a different subject area. So, because there are always several subject areas that seem like they will be valid. So that's just a thought.
And they have a lot of different subject areas. I mean, what's cool, I think it's the second or third largest academic association in the U.S. The attendance is over 2,000. And what's really great is that you meet people from all kinds of different disciplines, literature and critical studies and fashion and art, all kinds of things. So it's a really good opportunity to meet people from other disciplines, and people from a lot of different schools in fashion attend it. In terms of the registration fee, though, that early bird November 15th fee for presenters is $150, and then if you register by December 15th, it's $175. Just to let you know. There's also a lot of grants that you can apply for, travel grants. So you can go on their page and they have 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 5 different types of travel grants, and let's see, they give 40 scholarships for $300 to support graduate student travel. They give 12 $600 early career faculty grants. They give 12 scholarships for $750 to visiting international scholars. And they also give research and travel grants in $750 order too. So it's a really, really good thing to check out to get some of your costs covered. So in terms of the differences between PCA and ITAA, your findings don't need to be finalized. You're not providing keywords. The abstract, no formal requirement. They're not going to say you have to have it at times 12-point font. There's no template like ITAA. You're doing it purely online. There's also, as far as I know, Sarah, there's no posters, right? There's only oral presentations there.
Correct.
They email you with their acceptance letter. In terms of feedback, has anybody gotten feedback? I never get feedback. It's just like an acceptance letter.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if they like it, they like it. The sessions are an hour, so you each have 15 minutes. But what happened to Amy and I last time was that 2 people backed out from the session. So we actually had a half an hour apiece to present, which was really nice. So that could happen, but usually it's 15 minutes, and you'll have a moderator in the room to time you and kind of tell you when you're running out of time. So that's good. Technology, the rooms are really big. Hotels they do it at tend to be like Marriott's or Sheridan's, and they have tech people all over the place. So if you have a tech problem, you can run, and usually there's one person dedicated to each area, so you can get tech help right away. You do have to bring your own computer though. And they have a testing station for your computer by the registration desk, so you can make sure that it works before your presentation. But I'd still recommend, as we said before, to make sure your computer works. And always a good idea to save things in PDF format as well, instead of also in PowerPoint. When they schedule the event, it'll be on the website, so you can look it up by area and see where your presentation will occur. And then they also have a whole separate area for publishers as well. So there'll be a whole floor of book publishers to represent the books. So it's kind of interesting. Any questions?
Any questions about popular culture? It's super fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
I have a question. So
Turkeys, there you go. I'm sorry.
what does that say in style? Like, what kind of, because I always think like I will not fit there what I do, but I might, it seems.
Okay.
So what kind of things you
What did you present, Dave,
What have I presented?
at Pop Culture?
So I presented the proto study on it's my pilot study for my kill painting interviews in Scotland. Yeah, it was really interesting. Amy presented 3D digital printing with Sarah, and I wore
With
my
me? What? With me? Oh, so you presented.
The interviews I did for the 3D textile pictures.
And what did you present?
Mother-daughter fashion. It was a history topic in Ladies' Home Journal.
And what did you present?
I talked about how people dress their avatars in video games.
And I have presented there 3 times. I presented about the change in pantyhose in the American workplace. I did 2 things about 17 magazine. One that was about do-it-yourself articles, and one that was about the cover. I analyzed the cover. So it's sort of all over the place. You get the opportunity to do, Dr. Sanders presented on a preliminary sort of exploration of her grandmother's wardrobe.
It doesn't really have to be a finished,
No,
be a study, some ideas, concepts, things like that.
yours was very developmental.
Very.
Very. What was this other thing? You remember, what was the other thing you presented?
Oh, I talked about a character in a vampire novels, and how he's a snappy dresser.
Ashley presented on fashion brands in Jay-Z's last CD.
I have an idea already.
Then write it down and submit it. It is a great conference. It's super fun. It is very different from ITAA in that ITAA, you said, there's lunches, no lunch.
No.
There's no time at Pop Culture. They go from 8 in the morning until like 7:30 at night.
Wow.
There's no time for lunch. The book is this thick.
Literally.
The conference book. But it's really fun. You have to really decide if you want to go to like the Doctor Who or the vampire or the fashion section. Like they're all over the place. But it is a very fun conference.
There is something I forget to mention about ITAA. There is the session or like the time when they give each subject a reward, like what the best presentation in this. I wasn't planning to attend. Don't miss it. They actually gave me awards. So like I wasn't really wearing. I was ready to go for lunch, and I don't like it. So you have to make sure because you don't know if they pick you or not, and be ready, prepared. They might call your name.
I'm not too worried about that.
Well, I really was surprised. I was even eating the chocolate cake, and they said, "We just said, what?"
Dave, what were you saying? Dave, what'd you say? Oh.
I have a quick question. So you guys are talking about your ideas for pop culture. So, like, how much of this you have done before you submitted your abstract?
All right, Amy, how much did you have done before you submitted your abstract?
I have my idea done.
Okay, so I can still come up with an idea and submit it.
Yes.
Like,
Totally.
there's plenty of ideas in my head. I didn't realize it was so.
Loosey goosey.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to go.
Yes.
I'm all over the place like that.
It is a great opportunity to sort of investigate something new and then drop it if it doesn't work.
And to get people's feedback. Do you see an example of one of y'all's abstracts?
Are you a member yet?
Yes.
Then it's on Blackboard. We have a whole section of Blackboard of abstracts for all the conferences that we've all been to. So they're all up there. Examples of abstracts, examples of presentations are all on Blackboard.
Awesome.
Other questions about pop culture? Wonderful. Jennifer,
Can I just stay right here?
I think you can.
Okay. So, Costume Society of America. So they have, well, in the Midwest region, there's regional symposiums, but I'm really just going to be talking here about the national symposiums. So that's usually at the end of May. I forget the exact dates this year, somewhere around May 26th or something like that. It's usually organized around a theme. This year's is called The Full Cleveland, which apparently has, I don't know, it's some sort of political reference, some social reference to leisure suits.
I actually did not understand the
I don't know.
the graphic.
I don't entirely understand it, but apparently that's what it means. And so the larger theme is sort of about dresses, communication, self-expression, and identity, but you don't have to submit around the theme. They accept.
I would say I was rejected from them though, and they specifically gave as a reason that my presentation was not affiliated with the theme.
I mean, the calls for papers say that they accept, a wide range of new scholarship.
They were not interested in my scholarship.
So I don't know. And when I went to the last one, they had asked specifically for children's wear topics, and so that's what I submitted, and so it was accepted. So,
Well, they love you.
So you have to be a CSA member, or you have to join when you submit. So that might be a little bit of a turn off, I guess, because you may not want to join and then get rejected. But I think if you're in the history side of things, it's probably one of the most worthwhile to join, honestly. I went to ITAA as well, but I feel like my connections I made at CSA were a little bit stronger because so many people there are involved in museums and fashion history education. And it's a little more diverse also, I think. They have theater people, designers, industry people that are all part of the organization. And it's smaller. This is the smallest of the, it's much smaller than PCA, but it's also smaller than ITAA. So this year's abstracts are due October 16th. They're 500 words, and that includes endnotes and bibliography. And I believe that they ask for them in Chicago style. So if you're not familiar with Chicago style, you might have to, that might be a little bit of a learning curve.
We have the book in the office.
And so the categories for submissions, of course, the oral research paper. You can submit panels or discussion sessions, virtual exhibition tours, which are kind of cool. And sort of their poster session, they call, instead of a poster session, they've been referring to it as a research exhibit. So a lot of people do put up sort of a traditional poster, but people also will bring dress forms and mount garments or have sort of other little computer setup showing, graphics or whatever. So it's a little more, there's a little more flexibility, I guess, in terms of your little setup. I have not done one of those there. I've only done the oral papers, so I can't really speak as much to that. They do have sort of a standard format that they want you to follow, no template, but if you look at the call, it has very specific instructions as to, put this in the header and, here's center of the title and all of this. So it's pretty straightforward, and like everything else, it's a bit blind review. So your contact information goes in the email when you submit it, but not on the abstract. So on this year's call, it says they're going to notify by December 4th, and you have to accept by December 18th. So it's a little bit of a quick turnaround, I think, especially during that time of the year when you're crazy with finals and it's around the holidays. So keep that in mind. The conference hotels, you get the discounted rate like ITAA. You can do full or partial registrations. I would say it's not the cheapest conference to attend either. I forget exactly. I think it's a little less than ITAA, but still in the $200, $300 range. So, but the department will often cover it, so that's helpful. I would say it's probably the least popular in our department. So, finding roommates may be a little trickier. I think myself and then my advisor were the only ones from the department that went last year. But you may be able to reach out to conference organizers or something and say, I am a student, can you connect me with other students elsewhere? Because a lot of students do attend. They have a couple grants you can apply for. The Midwestern Regional Travel Award, which is great. So I think I got that one. I think Ariane, you got that one too, and Sarah. So,
And Ashley.
So they're pretty generous with that. And then there's also the Adele Filene Student Presenter Grant, which is also $500. And so that's competitive across region. And so once your paper is accepted, then you can apply for that. And let's see what. As I said, sort of attendees vary, but there's a lot of curators, a lot of scholars and students. There's sort of a lot of independent people, independent researchers at the ones that I've been to. So not having the affiliation is not necessarily a hindrance. Let's see. So a lot of times the papers will be at the conference hotel, but they tend to like to do certain events and certain presentations off-site at museums. And so they'll provide you with, they'll bus you or figure out, they'll put you in little groups and take you over to places together. So you don't really have to worry about trying to find your way. But I would say just sort of look carefully at the schedule and make sure that if you don't think you're presenting at the conference hotel and realize, oh, I'm actually presenting at whatever when they bus us over to the museum, because that can sort of be a little nerve-wracking, I think, which happens to me once. So some of them, they have pre and post symposium tours, which I don't usually attend, honestly, but because they tend to be additional cost. The first day of the whole affair is usually the Angels Project, and that is something that it's a volunteer opportunity. So if you're interested in collections, museum collection management or conservation, you can volunteer to help out, like usually a small museum or historic house that's in the area of the conference, and you help them package up, pack up their stuff with archival materials. If you have hand skills, I've never done this either, but if you have hand skills, you may do some conservation work. So I think if that's your interest, it's a nice way to meet people. Day 2 is usually workshops and care collections workshops often, but it varies, and sometimes pre-symposium tours to museums. There's a first-time attendees meeting usually on day 2, and then an opening reception. I usually don't get there until like the opening reception on day 2, so I can't be too much help on the earlier stuff. Days 3 and 4 are usually the concurrent sessions going on, and they have the CSA has something that they call the endowment, which funds a lot of their named awards. So sort of scattered in there will be sort of special breakout sessions for not breakout sessions really, but special sessions. So everyone in the conference can go hear the Richard Martin Exhibition Award or presentation, or the Amelia Davenport book presentation, which are usually pretty great, I have to say, because they award to people like Valerie Steele, and you get to hear, or Andrew Bolton from the Met. So they're really worthwhile to go listen to those. Day 5, which is usually the last real formal day, they have a marketplace, and usually some of those named presentation awards, they have an awards ceremony, and the closing meeting. And then day 6 is usually post-symposium tours, which I've never stayed for either, because it's a lot of money to spend for 6 days. The room sizes vary, but I would say on average, maybe a room holding about 30 people would expect, but sometimes they're bigger. Let's see, at the last one, our moderator contacted us, everyone in the group, and we all agreed over email that one person who would use their computer, and that morning, and we all loaded the presentations on, but like everybody else has kind of said, bring your computer anyway, bring your flash drive, do it, like just have it in, every kind of, place and format you can imagine, just in case. And if you have a Mac, just make sure you bring your connector, because they will not have those for you. It's 20 minutes that you get to present. I had a fairly strict moderator who told us, I will cut you off. So 20 minutes on the dot, and we did group Q&A at the end. Ended up being like 5 minutes or so. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions? Am I forgetting anything you've been? Right?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Anything to add?
Well, I'm probably not the best person to talk, because I just flew in from China and I was super jet lagged.
Right.
So, but for me, the rooms varied. I would say the bigger rooms were maybe 50 people. Like there were 2 big rooms and 1 sort of smaller room. Just, I guess, depends on the venue.
Do they do concurrent sessions like ITAA and?
Yeah, well, so last year in San Antonio, yes, they did. But I feel like that wasn't always the case. I've been 3 times, I've spoken twice. And I feel like I was sort of like, oh, I have to choose. So I don't think that was the case when I went to the ones in Boston or Atlanta. They didn't do, or at least they didn't do so many concurrent sessions. This was sort of maybe slightly atypical. But yeah, you may. It's not like ITAA where there's like 80.
Only concurrent sessions.
Only, but yeah, there was that.
I also heard there is a new thing this year where Costume Society is doing garments. They're doing a garment gallery. So I the impression I get is that they're sort of trying it out.
I think so. Yeah. And I haven't gone regularly. So yeah, they did it at the opening reception. They had models walking around in the garments during the opening reception. So yeah, I do think that they were sort of experimenting with the format, and they did have some mounted, I think, as well, if I remember correctly. But I can't really say too much about that. So yeah, sorry.
No. Questions about Costume Society?
When is the actual conference?
It's end of May. I can forward you a call. I think it's May. I want to say May 26th through 29th.
Something like that.
I could be.
The dates are all, again, on Blackboard. So the due dates for submissions and the dates of actual conferences are on Blackboard on the calendar, if you go to Blackboard and look at the calendar. And it's not just, we try to put every conference that we can find on there. We should add the 16th. We should add the graduate student conference on the Blackboard from here.
All right.
So, because there are, of course, other conferences. The one I'm most familiar with is the Fashion and Conference, which is currently it's out of University of Minnesota, although they are launching a joint collaboration with Drexel. So this is the last year. It will be solely University of Minnesota. Next year, it'll be the two universities, and it'll actually be in Philadelphia. And then from what I hear, it's going to be back and forth and back and forth. So that conference is Fashion and the and is always something different. This year, it's the body. Last year was gender. The year before was communication. The year before was sustainability. So it's always something different. That has been very good to me. It is a small conference, very small, and everyone there is like on it. And it's obviously very University of Minnesota oriented. They actually have a class. Their department has a research methods class that they're required to take, which I think is an interesting idea. And as part of that class, they are required to come up with a research study for this conference every year. So it's very University of Minnesota heavy, both professors and students. But there are also lots of other people who go, and it's all like heavy hitters in the field and very small. So like I was eating lunch with Joanne Eicher, like you just sort of hang out with these people. So that's been very good to me.
I would say Costume Society is a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're sitting there like, oh, it's Phyllis Tortora. Hi.
Totally. Like, oh, Sharon Lennon, I just cited you in my prelims. Nice to meet you. Like, it's that kind of thing. So the ad is a conference I'm familiar with, although, of course, every year the thing changes. So I did communication and gender. Are there other conferences you have been to sort of unusual?
I usually get on design expo conference type of things. The first one I've been is Safety Products Student Design Challenge, which is like a design competition type of thing, sponsored by Safety and Technical Products Division and Nano Fabrics Institute, which are like divisions of Industrial Fabrics Association International. So it's like big things, but they're more like industry oriented. But a lot of researchers go there too. So for this design challenge, it's basically safety products, safety garments. You can and it's international, so students from all over the world What's that called? Student Safety Product Student Design Challenge. It's a year always. I can forward it to you. So I was there. If you win first place, they will pay for everything for you.
Oh, nice.
They paid $500. We were like 3 students in the group. So they paid airfare. Their expo was like $1,000 to register for the expo. A lot of students come. A lot of industry members come with good ideas, new products. North Carolina State comes there with their known for one newer materials. A lot of other universities were there. Like, I don't know, companies. It was interesting. Military is always there. I met a lot of people from industry, some researchers. They have these conferences. We showed our garment. And then all these 2 divisions that sponsor the design challenge, they go to very, very high-end restaurant every year for their dinner, really high-end. So they take the students with them everywhere. So they pay for taxi rides, everything, food. So they will pay. So it was good. It was in Orlando, so it was good to. I think it's worth to apply to submit designs.
Yeah.
Our design had LED lights, like conductive thread, like some computer technology. So it was great. I could have done ITAA probably with that, and it would be accepted. But my institution, Central Michigan, they are not as ITAA.
Who is?
And then the second one is the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency's Sustainable Design Expo. P3 challenge. Yeah, like all these are big names, sorry, but again, it's more like a grant proposal with different stages. Like phase 1, the professors here submitted phase 1 grant. They got $15,000 for that, and that was my first semester here. I said, yeah, I'm interested in that. And then next fall, turned out we got the grant, so I just started participating in it with no assistantship, nothing. I just took part in it, and then we designed something. We went there for the competition. 40 universities were there with designs, and like it's not apparel. Cornell was there with apparel related submission, basically. But then we won the phase 2, which was $90,000, which is good. It's not like the students, because there was one publication that said all the students' names. Students were involved, but the professors were there too. So I think those are great. And especially if you're going to become professors, it's great to have students submit to those two. Both are great. I can give you more accurate names later.
Yeah, that'd be great. You could forward those.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's ACRA, which is the Association for American Collegiate Retail Association. That is every 2 years, I think. And I don't know any students who have been. I only know professors who have been. But that exists. And then there are a couple of other business ones, USASP, which Dr. Neem is a big fan of. Dr. Hurst would be the person to talk to in terms of ACRA. What am I forgetting?
What is the Surface Design Association? It's also...
There's Textiles Society of America. Has anybody, do you know anybody know anything about that?
I know Dr. Sanders is from the board.
Yeah, Dr. Sanders is involved in it, although I feel like she's trying not to be. So if you are interested in Textile Society, talk to her, because there's some kind of weird issues going on that I'm not clear on. There's Surface Design Association, which I know some students out of integrated arts in the College of Design have presented at. They've gone to Surface Design and have been very successful there. But are they only design, or they're also research presentations?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sounds interesting. I could link.
Probably. But yes, that does exist as well.
Family and consumer sciences thing is that.
Yeah, there's that. Again, I don't know a whole lot about that, but I do know that some people have presented there. I also know that that journal has been very, it's like the Journal of Family and Consumer Sciences, that has been very kind to people in our field, especially pedagogical articles. So if that's something you're interested in, that would probably be a good organization to look into.
I think they accept designs too, but you do a presentation about your designs.
That's the way it is in the fashion and if you can bring a garment, but you're expected to do a talk about it.
They have good scholarships too, right? The family and consumer sciences. I know I've looked at them, but they are for citizens only. So but you it's good to know.
That's true. And that is all that I know about. Do you know any others? Further thoughts? Any other questions about conferences, presentations, how to get there? I cannot reiterate enough that if, like, the minute they send out the conference hotel, book your room, because they will run out of spaces and you will end up at some hotel that's a half a mile away.
Yes, you will.
And it will not be enjoyable.
And it will not be as nice.
It won't be as nice. It won't be easy. It won't be enjoyable. So literally book it the minute it comes out. What do you got to lose? You can always cancel it. So actually, for ITAA, are you not going, or are you sharing with somebody else?
I'm going, but I'm going with the family and they're staying 0.3 miles away.
I mean, I've done that. I've gone the first time I went to Popular Culture, I stayed with a friend because it was in Washington, D.C. And I mean, that's different because you're staying with a friend. A, it's free, whole different world. And B, it's a different thing. So it's still a little tricky because there are, we'll all go for dinner or we'll try and get drinks or something. So sometimes you have to negotiate that with the people you're staying with. But no, that's totally different. But
Can you explain dues and how it works to get into Blackboard?
I can.
Good job of it. Yeah.
Okay. So it costs $15 to be a member of the AMD GSA, and you can attend almost every event without being a member. The only things you cannot attend are field trips. You must be a member to attend a field trip. We try to maintain an inclusive environment, but there are privileges that come with membership, and one of them is Blackboard. So once you are a member, we will bring you we have to add you onto the Blackboard page. And on the Blackboard page, we have things like conference abstracts, presentations, and posters, samples, so that you can see how other people, these are ones that have been accepted and presented for various conferences. We have links to graduate college forms. We have a compilation of syllabi for various classes that graduate students often take. We have a calendar where we try to keep track of all the dates for conferences. What else do we have on Blackboard?
The Zoom recordings.
The recordings of these events are also on Blackboard. The notes, the minutes from not only these events, but our executive board meetings, if you're at all interested in seeing what we talk about. It's fascinating, I tell you. Those are on Blackboard, so if you ever would like to see something that you missed, you could see those. That may be it. There's a lot of links to things in the university. So if you need to find something, I actually needed to find something, and I went through Blackboard because it was just easier rather than Googling it. But that, so
Links to conferences are on here.
yeah, and the links to the organizations are on Blackboard as well. So if there are no other questions about conferences, then thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching. And we will hopefully see you a week from tomorrow at Della Viti to meet some kinesiology and HDFS people. Thank you very much.